Okay, so today is Thursday, 7th of March, about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Air temperature is about 20 degrees centigrade, which is about 70 Fahrenheit, 68 Fahrenheit probably. Let's have a look at the water temperature. I think the thermometer's in here somewhere. Yeah. So it's about 19 degrees centigrade water temperature. I thought it's about time I started deciding what I'm going to do with breeding my MEDAKA this year. The weather's going to warm up a couple of weeks' time, and then I must start and see what I'm going to do. I've called this breeding plan 2024. It's not sort of a plan with a capital P with spreadsheets and stuff like that. This is really just vaguely thinking about, thinking aloud, for a rough sort of outline, and see how I go from there. Undoubtedly, I'll change it as the year goes on, but this is the starting point. And really, the starting point is I have these 5 tubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these, in principle, I like to keep stocked with 5 different types of MEDAKA. I change things around now and again. They still need sorting at the moment, but these tubs are, if you like, too many reflections on that one. These tubs are, if you like, one permanent part of my MEDAKA collection. And the other part of my permanent collection is my MEDAKA pond. But you can see still not many MEDAKA in there. I'm still sort of sorting that out. Now I try to limit my MEDAKA collection to these 5 tubs I've got and this pond. 5 tubs and the pond. Now, collecting MEDAKA, or for me, collecting a MEDAKA can be addictive. And if I don't try and impose a limit like that, I could easily start to become a crazy old MEDAKA guy by adding more and more tubs. So this is what I'm going to try and do with my plan, is like 5 tubs and the pond, put in on a permanent basis the sort of the numbers of MEDAKA that I want and how much breeding I've got to do to reach that sort of level number of MEDAKA. Although these are, if you like, my permanent collection, I'll sort of add black plastic storage tubs as necessary on a temporary basis for carrying out breeding. So the basic question to be answered by the plan is, how many MEDAKA do I want to breed in 2024? To get a good idea of how many I could actually breed, we can have a look at the MEDAKA in this tub here, which is the breeding group of about 9 or 10 plain white MEDAKA. Now I know from last year this breed of this type of MEDAKA breeds prolifically, lots and lots, no problem. So if, say, I collected eggs every day from this one group, maybe for 3 months, April, May, June, which is about 100 days, the group would probably produce an average of at least 10 eggs a day. So if I collected those eggs for that 3 months, 100 days, I'd have 1,000 eggs. And assuming 80% of the eggs will hatch, that means I'd have 800 juveniles, or 800 fry. Assume 80% of the fry survive and turn out to be nice strong juveniles, I'd have over 600 juveniles, strong juveniles, and that's just from this one breeding group. If I had a total of 5 breeding groups, 5 different types of MEDAKA, I'd finish up with 3,000 fish, theoretically, which most definitely is not something I want to do. So I definitely need a plan of some sort or another. So thinking about how many MEDAKA I want to keep, or aim for as a permanent stock, I have these 5 tubs. I like to maintain overall about a shoal of about 10 to 12 MEDAKA in each tub. There are some in this tub, but they're a bit shy today. So at least about 10 to 15 in each tub. So for the 5 tubs, the total I'll aim for is 70 MEDAKA. And then if I look at my pond, I recently cleared it out, took out all the plants and set it up as a MEDAKA pond. So I'd like to see, I think, a big shoal of, say, 200 MEDAKA in this pond. They happily, live together with the goldfish that are in there. I've proved that goldfish at this size don't eat MEDAKA. So I think 200 mixed MEDAKA in there is what I really want to aim for, and what I think I'd really like to see. So if we add up the MEDAKA I want in my 5 tubs, which is a total of 70 in the 5 tubs, and 200 in the pond, I get that I really want to aim for, by the time I finish the breeding plan, by the time I finish breeding, I want to aim to have 270 fish. Now, at the moment, in the tubs, there's probably already about 70 MEDAKA, and there's about 50 in the pond. That gives a current total of about 120 MEDAKA. Now, that might appear okay to be easy to calculate. I want to have 270 fish. I've got 120, so I need to breed an additional 150 MEDAKA this year. But what I've also got to think about is any losses I have in some of the current stock, 120, due to old age, disease, accidents, and whatever. Now I think MEDAKA indoors in the aquarium is a controlled environment. They probably have a reasonable lifespan. My guess, and it's only a guess, I don't really have any figures to back it up, and I don't really calculate how many die at a certain age or whatever. But my guess is, just looking at it, my MEDAKA outdoors in the way that I keep them, they probably have an average lifespan of maybe only about 18 months. That's sort of average. Some will live more, some will live less. Now the lifespan obviously can be shorter outdoors, in outdoor tubs and ponds. Water temperatures fluctuate, go up and down, they're not consistent, which can weaken them a little. MEDAKA a bit. I mean, they survive it, it's not a problem, but it weakens them maybe more than in an indoor aquarium in consistent conditions. Where I live, summers are very, very hot, 35 degrees centigrade, about 95 Fahrenheit, which again is getting towards the top limit of where MEDAKA are comfortable, so that can weaken them a bit. I can get very, very heavy rain, and wind can blow in branches and leaves which might be toxic, so maybe you lose a few MEDAKA to that. You've got natural predators, and the other thing is when you've got a whole lot of fish like this in a pond or in a tub, you can't check individually, look at them as you can in an aquarium. You can't look at them really close up, check their behaviour and whatever. If they've got a disease, it's usually you don't notice it, or by the time you do notice it, it's probably too late. So as I say, I reckon about 18 months lifespan. I may be wrong, but I'm going to use that. That's my assumption I'm going to use now. So I've got 120 fish at the moment. Most of them hatched in spring last year, so they're nearly a year old. By the end of the year, my assumption is that only 60 of that out of the 120 I've got will still be alive. So my calculation before was to breed 150 MEDAKA to increase the numbers to where I want to be. I want to see a big shoal in this pond. So that was 150, and I will now need to breed maybe another 60 to make up for losses from the current stock throughout this year. So rounding it up, 150 plus 60, round it up, I need to breed a total of about 200 this year. Now, I've got 5 types of MEDAKA, so I'll have 5 breeding groups. So that means I need to breed 40 fish from each individual group to make up the 200. So 40 fish really is not very many. So say my calculation, or what I illustrated before with that first breeding group, after 3 months that I could have maybe 600, not just 200. So I want 40 new fish from each breeding group. If you allow maybe conservatively 33% loss due to eggs not hatching and fry not surviving, I need to collect 60 eggs from each breeding group. So that means if each breeding group is going to produce 10 eggs a day, I'm only going to need to collect eggs every day for about 6 days, which really, I mean, is obviously a very short period of time. So that's easy to fit in, and then if I get losses from the 60 from not getting 40 fish from each breeding group, then I can collect some more later on. So the next thing I've got to think about are the constraints I have on timing of the breeding process. So in my location, females will start producing eggs regularly about mid-March, in about a week, 2 weeks time. It depends on exactly when the warm weather might arrive. It's still 20 degrees. They may produce eggs, but maybe not very many, maybe not such good quality. I want to try and get up to about 22, 23, and maybe keep it about 18, above 18 at night if possible. So mid-March maybe they'll start producing eggs, but many females will stop producing eggs, again in my location, by about the end of June, when temperatures get up to about 35 degrees centigrade, 95 Fahrenheit. And the temperatures drop again in October, so they will start to produce eggs again later on. So there's a break, maybe July, August, September. Many females won't produce any eggs, or only very few. So that's the timing. So basically, I've got to sort of actually collect the eggs some before June. But the other thing is, I mean, again, where I live, weather in the summer is not good for the survival of young juvenile MEDAKA. Temperatures consistently at 35 degrees centigrade are not ideal for the metabolism of young fish. And once you get above 35 centigrade, then you can get low levels of dissolved oxygen, which again can weaken them. Won't necessarily kill them, but it reduces their lifespan. More things that are not ideal, then the shorter the lifespan can be. And also in the summer, maybe June, July, August, maybe first half of September, there's usually at least 10 days with very, very heavy rain over, say, 50 millimeters, 2 inches in a day. So 2 inches in a day rainfall is quite heavy. But then there's going to be a few days of those are going to be over 100 mm, over 4 inches of rain in a day. And that is, if you like, an immediate, very quick 30% water change, because the tubs are only maybe 12, 14 inches deep. You get 4 inches of rain, apart from the tubs overflowing, you've suddenly a drastic water change, much cooler temperature, so an immediate change in temperature, and pH can also change dramatically. So that's not good. So what I need to do is start the breeding process early enough so the juveniles, when they hatch, have 2 or 3 months to become strong and fit before the summer starts, maybe in June, something like that. So they've got 2 or 3 months to grow, so they're strong enough to survive through the summer with, okay. Some of them probably won't survive, particularly if we overflowing tubs or branches falling in the tub, whatever. But yeah, you give them the best chance to survive. So the plan is now to collect 60 eggs from each of the 5 groups. And I'll have like groups in these 5 tubs. So 5 groups collect 60 eggs each, probably starting later this month. And then the juveniles got 2 or 3 months to grow before the summer comes and can have maybe an adverse effect on them on their health. If more juveniles survive than I expected, if instead of, I'm aiming for 40, collect 60 eggs, get 40 juveniles. If more survive than the 40, then that's fine. The pond's got enough capacity to cope with any excess. Or I could add a few more tubs, which are, as I say, I'm trying to restrict myself to 5 tubs if I can. If after the summer I'll have another look, I'll see how many fish I've actually got, and in October maybe I can think about collecting some more eggs if I just need to make up the numbers I want, or if I change my mind I want more than what I'm aiming for at the moment. So when you're thinking out loud, we're dealing with nature, so who knows what might happen. The extremely bad summer, or the fish not cooperating, not producing enough eggs. I don't know, but so I'll change things as I go along and see what happens. So the basic plan or aim is to breed 200 fish, 5 groups of breeding groups, 5 different types of MEDAKA, so it's 40 fish from each group. And I'll update, maybe, if anyone's interested, as I go along. Okay,